Five's on the room.
She's on mute too.
All right. Let's get this meeting underway. Yeah. You already got the button, Hayden?
I've clicked the button.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Here we go. We'll see.
All right. If we could just stand for the karakia.
Whakataka te he ki te iru, whakataka te hau ki te tonga, kia mā kina ki uta, kia mā taratara ki te rai. I hia ki ana te atakura, he iru, he huka, I hauhanga, I hei Maoriora.
Thank you, Ryan. With that, we announce the meeting open at 4:34 p.m. First item on the agenda is apologies. So we have an apology from Linda Chen and an apology for lateness from David and from Nicola. Can I move it for that, please? Sam, happy to move.
Yep. Happy to second.
Bridget to second. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you very much. Declarations of interest. There's been no declarations declared so far. If everything comes up during the meeting, just let us know. Item 3, confirmation of the previous minutes. I'm happy to move those. If I can get a seconder for that, please. Yep. James to second. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Public forum. We have one public forum today from Spokes Canterbury, and we have Anne Scott and Fox Bennett who will speak on behalf of Spokes Canterbury. Please come up. And that included 5 minutes, as you know the drill, 5 minutes including some time for questions.
Wait for the presentation.
Yes.
See how much
bring that
the
up for us.
accidentally cleared it up. Oh no, there it is. I'm Bridget.
And Scott Tokawingwa.
I've got Fox took over.
So we wanted to come and talk to you about a planning day that we had Spokes Canterbury held at Tuaranga. We had an open session for everyone to come in, and there were whole lots of next slide please. And there were a whole lot of people who came in, and we put up ideas on the walls and people voted for them and various other things. Of those 187 suggestions, 25 were specific to Waimāero area. We've concentrated on safety and smaller connections today when we're going to talk about 3 of our priorities, but we were happy to share all of the other ones that came, and we'll very briefly talk about some of the other priorities. Next slide, please. So the top one that came out was Memorial Avenue at Ilam Road. This intersection has changed a little and has become more dangerous to cyclists who are cycling towards down Memorial Avenue towards the airport. It's particularly this side that causes the problems, not the other side. We have 2 lanes heading there, and it's a real pinch point because the majority of the good drivers, they stay in the outside lane, the middle lane. But what you get is other idiots who go speeding up the inside to get around the queues. And when they do that, they come across a cyclist who's just got across the intersection and there's sometimes nowhere to go, particularly if the bus is there. We would like to see the left-hand lane turned into a left-hand lane only, except for buses and cyclists, which can go straight through. That is an option that is in a couple of places around Christchurch, and it works really well. Another advantage, it would actually speed up the majority of other vehicles because at busy times they don't need to slow down for other traffic to merge. So what's happening at the moment is these drivers go spoof up the middle and then they want to push in, and that sort of causes confusion amongst the other traffic. So we'd really like you to do that. Next, please, next slide. The second priority we have is Greers Road enhancements. There has been some enhancements done on Greers Road, but there are still things to do. We would like to see road cycle lanes extended the whole length of Greers Road. We'd also like to improve access into and out of Jelly Park at this point here, which is about halfway along. This is used extensively by Cobham Intermediate, Burnside Primary, Christ the King and Burnside High children. And if it hadn't been school holidays, I could have taken a picture here of chaos. So what we would like you to do is, this has improved since the since they've put in the disabled parking space, because you don't always have a car there, but normally there are cars everywhere. So we would like to see some sort of build out to make this safer so people can get across easier. And we'd also like to see better signage into Jelly Park for cyclists. So there would be a sign saying, go this way for the Norwest Arc, for instance. Next, please. I'm rushing through these so I can get some questions in. Shared path on Radcliffe Road. We'd really like you to create a shared path along Radcliffe Road between Main North Road and Christchurch Northern Corridor. There is a lot of housing being built along here at the moment, and there is patches of footpath and patches of not footpath. So if you look at the top one is at the end where the bridge is, and you can see that there's nothing along the side of the roads at all. And the bottom one is just starting to be built out. Now, this is the real opportunity to actually put a shared path in here, which would connect two major cycleways, the Northern Line and the Northern Arterial. The road is busy and is really not suitable for confident cyclists, for any other than confident cyclists. And there's a lot of traffic, and it's a popular destination to the shops as well. And the Spring Grove residents currently have to walk, really can't walk anywhere because they just can't get out, on the road, they can't get out of their neighbourhood. So those are the top 3 priorities. Next slide, please. So we've got a number of other priorities. One is a unicycle extension through Avonhead, Russley via Merrin Street, connecting to the South Express. The other is extending on-road cycleways along Wairaki Road. And the other is Wheels to Wings. And we haven't put this top because we know the reality of the situation, but it's still an important connection. Next slide, please. General priorities. What we really want is more bike parking at popular destinations. Bike parking that actually works, unlike the bike parking outside here. With a range of bikes with space to unload and load, and often those are little children, and you do need extra space. We want provision of cut downs into and out of paths through parks. Often these aren't there at all. And more cycle signage and wayfinding. There are others there, but I'm going to just stop there and ask if you've got any questions on our priorities.
Thank you for that. That's fantastic. Yes, I'll start. So got some great news for you to start with. So the Radcliffe Road one's been on my radar for a little while, and we actually have funding in the budget for next year. So that should be, they've started the design work. We've seen some interim designs for the rail corridor crossing because that was holding up the project, and they should actually have that project completed by the end of next financial year. So Radcliffe Road, we should have that connection there and a safe crossing of the rail corridor as well. And that'll connect into Spring Grove too, because there's also some drainage issues there on Blake's Road where it floods and it's not great. So that whole intersection and the connection will get done. I think there's 2.3 or $2.7 million in the budget for that one next year.
I talked to a person who lives in that area, and she said that you were actually putting the connection for, further down into Springs Grove onto the onto the motorway.
Cutting through, that's sort of the
Rather
PPP
That's the other one we've done.
that's the other one.
Other one?
The other off the gravel path from.
Oh, so that's
Started.
just the gravel path that connects from there's a little inlet from the Northern Line into the back of Bill Hinton Drive. So there's $20,000, and essentially there was a bridge across the waterway and then a path to nowhere. So the 20-odd grand there is just to actually put a like a gravel path in to connect it to that community in there. So that's just a little connection as well. We managed to use the last of our Better Off funding for. Couple of other questions from me. The Greers Road enhancement, the one with the entrance into Jelly Park there, did you have an idea of what, like from your perspective, what would look good for an improved build out there? Because I can't visualize what would look better.
So I would like to see a build out that goes past those parked cars. So when a child is standing there, they've got some protection onto the road, because they have to come right out of there when there's the whole lot of parking to even see if there's another car coming down the road.
That's great. And we're taking some notes. And the Memorial Ave one at Island Road seems reasonably straightforward. I guess just as a part of this, we'll liaise with staff and get some essentially feedback from then on. Are they aware of these things, and then what can we functionally do about them within current budget, or whether we need to look to put it in annual plan, long-term plan type stuff.
Consulting the community.
Of course, yeah, so as a part, if it goes through, there's a part of the board plan priorities, and it'll go out for public consultation on that as well, so. As a part of that process, anyone have any other questions on that
I'll
stuff?
let Bridget go first.
Yes.
Well, hey, thank you so much for undertaking that meeting. It sounds like you got some great feedback, and it's really great as well that you've sort of put it in a hierarchy of priority. Just sort of echoing, Jason, what you said around getting staff to take a look at this. I think it'd also be quite handy to know like what is some low-hanging fruit that we can do pretty quickly. Like, for instance, I don't know what the cost or the process would be involved, but just improving the signage of Jolly Park, like that seems sort of straightforward. So getting an understanding about what could be, what we could do quickly, that's low-hanging fruit, would be great. If we can include that within the report too, or to get that feedback from staff would be helpful.
Aaron?
Yeah, I really like this. Couple of things. You did the workshop. So, and you come up with a whole lot of ideas, then you presented them in hierarchical. I think that's brilliant. And none of what you've asked for is unrealistic. So I think that's a really good position to be going with. The wayfinding one I really like, and I think it's lacking in Christchurch. But I think we need to be asking for a whatever the wayfinding looks like, that it goes across the whole city. So it makes sense. So especially for tourism, I think there should be a lot more cycling tourism here on a flat city. And some of the money we've spent, we want to out to Sumner and that. I mean, that's the best inner city bike in the world, I would think. So yeah, the wayfinding one would be good. If you guys have designs or anything, or someone's done some, would be certainly open to putting that forward. If there's something, or you've seen something overseas, someone's done a bit of research and goes, hey, this works really well, cost effective, tin signs type thing.
We already have standard wayfinding signs, but what they're on the major cycle routes. What we don't have is signs that say where you get into the major cycle routes. Yeah, so like this one.
Oh, so that would just be an extension of the other ones that exist.
Consistent signage so people know that means there's an MCR if I follow the sign.
Yep, 100%.
But also in terms of apps and just Google Maps and simple things like that, like getting that data into Google Maps so people know that where things are. There's not a good consistent way of doing that. So we've been talking with staff about trying to get better ways.
So yeah, can we get Smart Cities the team to look at that?
We've got that
in the list.
Yep.
Great.
Because that would, like, Smart View doesn't go to that level of information, but that would be an ideal place to have more stuff on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and sorry, on that, if I use Google Maps in my car, it tells me which route to take. Does that pop up and talk to you on your bike?
Yeah, there's a bike option.
There is.
It doesn't always have the MCRs or the safe cycle routes, or even just like the fact that you can bike through here to get to Waimāero.
Right.
For example.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't have.
Oh, so that's what we need the team to get on.
So like
that really helps.
whatever the common mapping software is, which is mostly Google Maps, having that little detail in there makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
We actually have in this area lots of safe ways of getting to places.
cut-throughs.
The little cut throughs.
It used to be across Burnside Primary.
Oh, Burnside Primaries, that was a key one. Yes, but in actual fact, Google Maps often shows you main roads. So they'll put you down Innes Road, for
It's way
instance.
more dangerous.
Especially if there's like
Yeah.
cycle lane, but it's not the safest option.
No, yeah. Okay. I'll get them to look on.
Any other last questions for anyone at the board? No? Great, thank you very much for coming in. We will go away to staff, get some information, and we'll let you know how we're doing on progress. There's some great suggestions in there. Thank you. Thanks. Right, no deputations by appointment, no presentation of petitions, so that moves us on to staff reports.
Can I just flag as well, sorry, I checked my phone that David Cartwright is on his way, he's been just held up.
We had an apology for lateness.
Yeah.
Popped in there.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, sorted, great.
Yep, already sorted, mate, thank you. Item number 7, road stopping at 40 Garden Road. Elizabeth Hoskins, come and take a seat.
I don't usually actually even get to the seat on that.
You don't usually.
I haven't got a copy with me, it's obviously up
Yep,
here, but I take it as read, it's pretty straightforward.
Anyone have any questions around that one? No, that is pretty straightforward.
Right.
See,
Oh,
You've made the trip.
Well, I learned that I'm not allowed to sit here for you to vote, I actually have to leave the seat.
Is that?
Yeah.
I got told off at one meeting, yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
I said, please leave the seat, and I said, well, where do I go?
Home because your work's done.
I'm happy to move this.
yeah, happy to see.
Dash, have a second, all in favour?
Aye.
Guys.
Against?
Thank you.
Carried. Thank you very much. Item number 8, the proposed road names at 275 Highseed Road. Sean Ward, is he online? Is he?
Happy to move.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah, is everyone reasonably comfortable with that one? It seemed relatively straightforward as well.
Is he online there?
No, he isn't online.
I thought it was actually, if I can speak to it, just momentarily,
You
I
may.
think it was really good to get some Māori names coming into the ward. I thought that was really good. We've had quite a mix in our area. So to get some get these thrown in, I thought was good, refreshing to see.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Aaron. Any other comments from anyone?
There were no changes. I mean, it's affected what the developer asked for, isn't it?
Correct.
So, yeah, so that makes because probably the only thing I'd be keen to understand is just how long this stuff takes to come through.
From start to finish?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it like holding
Like if
up
we could
in
just send a question
process
back,
or-
yeah, just around, not at our end, but from getting it through the system, so to speak, to the team to then put on the agenda.
Yeah, I think once the developers got the suggestions and everyone's reasonably happy, it comes to the board pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And because it's part of a subdivision, the subdivision process would take much longer than this little part,
Yeah.
so.
But is it like a
Yeah.
couple of weeks? Is it
No,
2
no.
months? Is it, can we
Yeah,
find that out?
we
please?
Purely out of interest, just to see what
We'll
the,
definitely find that out.
yeah, because I think it's, and not that it.
Aaron?
I know some of the other boards, you talk to people and they go, oh yeah, it's taken like, not, they haven't necessarily sort of pushed it through, so.
Okay. All right,
Sorry, on that, when we go into the new term, I think it would be always good to have because we'll have at least 2 new board members, to have the namings team come in early in the thing and explain the process of where the names, because it is quite good, and to also give us an update on a request made years ago on the history of names and how people going forward will know why things have been named a particular way. Are we going to have a website? Is it going to be an app? I mean,
It was, the libraries launched it earlier in the year, I think.
oh, cool. Okay, so it's
Led around the board.
yeah, and if we can get an update on that in the new term, I think would be really
Yeah.
beneficial.
Because I've seen on social media some people posting up, did you know where your street name,
Yeah.
Comes
what it
from,
means,
yeah.
how did it get that name? And it's
quite
like,
interesting.
yeah.
It's actually a really great website.
Oh, cool, yeah, I'll be keen to see.
I can send you a link to that.
someone
Yeah,
happy to
that'd
move?
Yep.
Aaron, happy to move?
Yeah.
Sam, happy to second? All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Fantastic. Oh, excuse me. Item number 9, notice of extraordinary vacancy. So,
Happy to move option A.
happy to move option A.
Second option, eh?
Happy to second option A. Any comments or anything from anyone? No?
Just worth mentioning that this close out to an election, we just don't see any need
Okay.
to fill that vacancy at this point.
All right. That makes sense. Do we have a mover?
Yeah, I've moved it in Sam's second.
Sam to second, yep. James to move, Sam to second. All in favour?
Aye.
Carried. Fantastic, thanks team. With that moves us on to item number 10, which is the appointment to the Rickett and Bush Trust. Now, upon a bit of reflection, I think it may be beneficial for us to, well, how would we do this? Just note that we think it would be best to defer this appointment until the first meeting of the new term. We think just appointing someone for 1 or 2 meetings right at the end of the term just doesn't really make sense. So, yeah, I'm happy to move that we just defer that till the start of the new term unless anyone had any other comments.
I mean, I guess it's probably very similar to the decision we've just made in terms of the one of not bringing someone onto the board for 2 months. And it's sort of like we're in that stage where
It's
they're
the
like,
same rationale.
yeah, 1 meeting for the next wee while. And then I imagine Miriam will just pick it up within induction and that kind of stuff. What, late October, early November?
Yeah, early November will be the first inaugural
All right.
or December, so.
Well, I'm happy to move that. If someone would be a second, Aaron to second that once Aidan just gets that written up. All in favour?
I
Again? Carried. Fantastic. That we move on to item number 11, the board area report. Mary Ann.
Thank you. Yeah, take the report as read. There's some really cool report backs from some of the youth development young people that you've supported throughout the year, and some various funding thank yous from some groups. Yeah, I'm happy to take questions.
Any questions from anyone on that?
Well, just feedback, the community service awards went really well. And it was such a big group. You know, it was a lot of people came along to support their sort of people receiving the awards, which was,
It was a nice venue too.
yeah, it was, yeah.
Nice change up.
I think it highlights the benefit of only doing it once a term. This is the first time we've done that.
Yep.
Rather than only have 2 or 3 people each year.
Hack it out all the time.
Yeah, make it a bit more.
Bit more of a
Yeah, a greater sense of occasion, I guess, with it. And I think it's more efficient on our
Cost
part.
effective from a venue hire perspective and all of those types of things. Staff time.
Yep.
as a team, Katie and that organised it really well. You know, they did a great job on it.
So
Yeah,
please pass them a thanks
yeah,
to
definitely.
everyone involved.
And especially the follow-up at the council meeting with the video.
Yeah,
I
that was
think
great.
that was a magic touch. That was really, really good. Just hearing, yeah.
Fantastic. All right, can we get a mover for that one,
The
please?
only question I had was around because I really like the how you add in the movements and stuff like that. We still seem to be getting a heap of bin issues. Do we know what that's about? Like, is that
Damaged
so
bins.
they're up again? Is that in water leaks? And then sweeping, I kind
Yeah,
of
the
would be
damage
expected.
bin's up 80 from last month. which
Yeah.
is
Do we sort of
significant.
know what that's? Because it's just we sort of have. I mean, my understanding is we have a private contractor that does it. So like, which we're paying for
Which bins?
the bins,
The
bins. Yeah.
rubbish bins, not the
Yep.
wheelie bins. You mean?
Well,
These will be
no,
wheelie bins, I
ones
imagine.
The wheelie bins. So there's been 285 reports of damaged bins in our area in the last
So
previous month.
I'm wondering if that's the 80 bins now, you know, because
Yeah,
plastic gets brittle
getting toward the
over
end of the
time.
life cycle.
And I'm wondering if that, so maybe we should be asking someone a question around that, because we might be up for a lot of bins over an amount of time, or there's it's mainly the lid is the bit that goes, because that moves all the time, and of course that gets the most sun.
Yeah.
And the most
Yeah.
frost. So I don't know, I think there could be a question to be asked there, because there will be
You can snap, send, solve or call in.
20-odd thousand bins in the city. Because it's 3 per property, there's gonna be a lot of.
Yeah. And are we budgeting appropriately to
Yeah.
for the
They're quite
renewals?
costly to replace.
Yeah, but it might work out a lot better that we do 100,000 at a time rather than doing,
Well, 10 a week or
Yeah.
something.
yeah,
Right, we can certainly follow that up.
yeah.
It's on what their sort of asset management plan
Yeah.
is for a wheeling.
Because yeah, it's becoming quite, that's the only thing I can think of is that and ones I've seen are older that are doing it, so.
Yeah.
Remembering that they're not actually owned by the resident,
Mm.
so.
They're our assets in essence, aren't
That was a silly
they?
move.
Okay, fantastic.
Giving them gifted.
All right, any other questions on that? Can we get a mover?
Yeah, I'll move that, Jason.
James to move. I'll second that. All in favour? Against? Carried. Fantastic. Thanks very much, Mary Ann. That moves us on to the last item on the agenda, elected members information exchange. Anything that anyone wants to share?
Oh, just quickly. I went to the Keep Christchurch Beautiful AGM. And as one of the for the executive committee, being a board representative on there. And it's obviously there's been funding has been pretty tricky. I think a lot of non-profit and charitable organizations have felt that pinch just with what's going on in the last few years. But in saying that, the cleanups that they do are incredible. So just like keep a lookout, and I'm happy to share information about when the next one is. They're going to be looking at putting ways to capture the data as to how much waste is actually getting extracted when and diverted from landfill or saved from gardens and that sort of thing when they do their big cleans. But there's also some pretty exciting things that are happening in the pipeline as well. I don't want to give anything away, but yeah, so I guess the message just from the AGM is that things are there's some exciting stuff in the pipeline, but things are still pretty tough. So I guess it's just about doing what you can to sort of keep promoting, keep Christchurch beautiful. If you know of any organisations that want to support want to support it, then that'd be great. So feel free to get in touch with me, or of course, you know, Alex as well, who's our chair for KCB as well.
Thanks, Bridget. Nothing from anyone else? With that, then that is elected members information exchange, and that brings us to the end of the meeting. So
efficient, Mr. Chair.
we will
that,
stand for the karakia.
Some of your
close the meeting.
apologies are needed here.
Yeah. How's it going? I don't know why it's not there.
It's a sign.
It's just up there above.
There it
the
is.
fields.
I missed it. There we go. Right.
Make it a little bit larger, please.
I can do that. There we go.
Una hea, ki te uru tapanui, kia wātia, kia maima, tēnā rākau. Te tirana, te wairoa, I te ara whakata. Koe rā e rongo, whakaia, whakaki ki runga, kia tina, hui e, taipie.
Thank you very much, everyone. And with that, the meeting is closed at 5 p.m. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bridget.